Yo, what is up, guys? Today, we're going to be talking about how to convince your parents to let you ride a motorcycle. Now, this is a difficult topic because everyone has a different set of parents and everyone has a different relationship with said parents. So there's no general rule of thumb that covers all bases, unfortunately. So what I'll be doing is speaking from my own experience. So if you're interested in knowing why I wanted to ride and how my journey began, go watch that video. I do mention that I was met with a bit of adversity when it came to actually beginning my journey. And all of that came from my mother, whom I love very, very much. Now, there are some people who have a relationship with their parents that's quite transactional, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but pretty much they'll look at the title of this video and be like, what? You're over 18. That doesn't matter. They can't stop you legally. So just go buy a bike. What are you waiting for? The problem is I don't have that kind of relationship with my parents. I understand that legally I could have hopped on a bike a long time ago without their consent or permission. But that's not the issue. It's not the legal side. It's that moral obligation, I guess, a lot of us have to our parents, where we don't really want to upset them because, of course, they love us very much, and the things we do can hurt them, and vice versa. And when I was about to get my first bike and book my license, well, I had already booked it. I had never seen my mum so upset in my life. That made me rethink everything, and I put it on hold for a couple of years. Before you know it, we're in a 2-year lockdown, and I've lost 2 years of my early 20s to this pandemic. And although I'd bought the Gallant to satiate my lust for two wheels, I got out of lockdown this year and realized I'm not getting any younger. And this is where some of you may have some issues. So your parents might tell you that they're going to kick you out if you go get a motorcycle. And this is obviously a big thing if you're financially dependent on them, because if you do end up moving out just to get a motorcycle, you probably won't be able to afford one for a very, very long time anyway. But there are parents who will genuinely kick their children out of home if they buy a motorcycle. And if my parents were like that, I don't think I could have begun my journey this year, because personally it wouldn't have been worth it. I began this as purely a recreational hobby. I took up motorcycling with the promise that it would be recreational and I wouldn't use it for commuting. I have 2 cars. It's not a need, it's just a want, and it's just a fun thing I do every now and again. Obviously that changed, but that's a different story. The point is, I wouldn't have been able to justify it. So I guess the advice I'm about to impart upon you all in this video isn't too relevant if your parents would seriously disown you or kick you out should you elect to get on 2 wheels. It's easier to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. I saw it all the time on the internet, and even with a couple of my friends, that was the case. If you're gonna try and get your parents to be okay with you riding a bike before you've even got one, it is most likely never gonna happen, and you're probably never gonna ride. Initially, that was the approach I was taking. I wanted my mum to be okay with it. Obviously, after 2 years, that changed, and I realized that I just had to pull the trigger. That being said, I did a lot of labor in the lead up to doing so. I made sure to bring it up very often and kind of desensitize everyone to the word motorcycle, because I was quite frankly obsessed, and I knew that this wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. I smell fruit juice. E85. There is some ripper car up there, and I would love to see what it is. Anyway, that's the secret tip, that's the trick. Now obviously it's quite contextual, very circumstantial, and depends on your parents and your relationship with them, but that's what worked for me. And to this day my mum is not happy about me riding a bike, and I can see it worries her every time I hop on this thing. But that being said, I do everything I can to mitigate that worry. I've even installed Life 360, and I let my parents and my girlfriend know whenever I'm on the bike, and they can see where I am and check up if ever they are worried, to see that I'm still moving. And you know, I've invested in all the correct safety equipment. I did the whole 9 yards. I'm currently in the middle of making that series. Episode 1 is out, so go watch that. But yeah, I got everything I needed in terms of safety, and I'm not doing anything stupid. I'm trying my best anyway. And there it is. There's the E85 beast, I'm guessing. I don't think anything else is quite in that category enough to smell of corn juice. That is an Evo 10. God, I love Evos, especially after being given the opportunity to drive Leander's old Evo 7. My appreciation for these 4-banger turbos. Josh just rev bombed a little to tell this guy to get out of the way. It's really funny though, because my mum is vehemently against me riding a motorcycle, and somehow I managed to convince my dad to ride a motorcycle with me. And as you guys probably know, he's got his own motorcycle and rides with me every now and again. So there is a stark contrast there, and that probably helped a lot too. There wasn't this really strict, strong, united front against me motorcycling, and that helped a lot. My dad actually came with me to look at my first motorcycle, and that then inspired him to go buy his own and to go get his license. So there you have it, guys. That's my tale on how I didn't actually really get my parents to be okay with me riding a motorcycle. It was kind of this 50-50 balance where my dad ended up getting into the hobby with me, and my mum still hates the idea of a motorcycle. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate all of your support thus far. Remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below whether you had to manage your parents and their expectations when it came to getting your motorcycle license.
You say you got them guns, but I've never seen you bang. You say you got them drugs, but I've never seen you slang.